Namaste, angels. This is the weekly reading for November 5th or 6th. One of those. I think it's the 6th through the 11th. That sounds so short, though. Whatever the Sunday is, the 5th or the 6th, through, I'm pretty sure it's the 11th of November. And I'm doing this reading early because, as I mentioned last week's reading, I still can't talk, obviously. I had trouble with the internet in Bermuda. Actually, I came home and had trouble with the internet again. Not with everything, but just with uploading, particularly the weekly reading. So I have a lot to do this week, including, I think, like 5 client readings. So I'm like, I was just moved to, as a matter of fact, I was watching Bobby Flay. And then all of a sudden I heard, like, do the weekly reading. So I literally turned him off. And it's his season finale of his show, Bobby's Triple Threat. And some of you may know that he is, my only, like, I think at this point, he's like my white boyfriend in my head. My only, like, celebrity crush was the word I was thinking of at this point. Anyway, but I turned him off mid-show. And here I am. So we're starting with, I'm on top. Eat cake. Weekend away. It's 50-50. And kitchen. Still kitchen. Still weekend away. Spend money also. Yes. Maybe somebody goes away for the weekend and gets engaged or something, and that blank one, the one with the side that rubbed off. So whatever you want it to be. This week, as far as celestial events, major celestial events, we only have the partial lunar eclipse and full moon that occurs on the 8th of November. It falls into this week. So I won't be reading anything and going on anything. We're just going to go over these cards. I didn't even talk about all the other stuff that was happening last week. I didn't mention that today was All Saints Day during last week's reading, but it is. Of course, Day of the Dead, Halloween, all that stuff passed. Tomorrow's All Souls Day. I did talk about Diwali, I think, the week before at least. During the week on the 7th, it should be, I guess, because it's the first Monday of November is Black Solidarity Day. The 11th is Veterans Day, of course. I think that's it. Oh God, how could I forget? Election Day in America is the 8th, the same day as the shit with the moon. So that's probably gonna be crazy. Maybe some stuff that needs to be left in the past, some folks that need to be left in the past will get eclipsed out, and we'll get some new representatives, whatever side they're on, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever it is, but new blood as opposed to some of the old people that are taking up seats, maybe, with things being because that's what the lunar eclipse does. Eclipses stuff out that needs to be left in the past, like left for dead. Very interesting. With the cards, we're starting with the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Cups with these 3 decks. So the Queen of Swords has something coming for her, and it's something very positive, something that's going to be very emotionally fulfilling for her. Could be a job, could be a promotion, could be money that she's been waiting for. Particularly with the Cup of Emotion, the Ace of Cups, it may have something to do with like when somebody passes away, when they leave you money, inheritance. I can't talk, and I can't think of words. I can't verbalize, can't communicate. So yeah, but she, since it's emotional, if this has to do with money, it could be money tied to something emotional. But again, it's positive because this King of Pentacles that's behind her is upright, and she does not see this coming because again, it is behind her. Her back is completely turned to this King of Pentacles. So if it's romance, she also may not be expecting him to show up. But if he does, she's going to be very happy in what he has to say to her, which may be an apology based on the King of king, the knight rather of pentacles that's behind the king here. Maybe an apology that he has to offer her that she's not expecting him to come up with. He may be specifically a Virgo who's been watching her, keeping a good eye on her, maybe checking out her social media. She is his wish fulfillment with this star around the hermit's neck. And, of course, on the pentacle that he wants to give to her. This is a provider. This is somebody who's stable, secure, or if they're not already, they want to be, they plan to be with her. They want to take care of this Queen of Pentacles, again, if it's a romance. With her back to it, she does not see it coming, even if it's like a job or something, or if it's like I said, like an inheritance. Maybe it's something that, you know, the person passed away a while back, and, you know, you just sort of give up sometimes. I mean, you know something's coming, but when it's taking longer than it was supposed to, longer than anticipated, sometimes you just like kind of like forget about it. You know, and then when it shows up, it's like, oh wow, okay, this is right on time. You know, it's like Six of Pentacles type stuff. Like it just comes like when it needed to and when it was meant to. But if you look right behind the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords is another Ace of Cups. So again, whatever this thing is that's coming for her, whether it's a relationship, perhaps with an actual earth sign, again, maybe specifically a Virgo, but possibly a Taurus or a Capricorn, doesn't have to be. If it's not an earth sign, it's just somebody, again, who's going to be generous with her, wants to take care of her, wants to be like a provider type, a typical provider type, and maybe like one of those very old-fashioned kind of, you know, I'm the man, you're the woman, even if it's not a man and a woman, even if it's two men or two women in the scenario, you know, in speaking in terms of archetype, the masculine and the feminine, the he and the she, you know, it might be like an old-fashioned type, like it's my job, it's my duty to, you know, take care of you, even though you're a Queen of Swords, meaning you're super independent. I know you can take care of yourself. I'm well aware, but I want to dote on you. I want to make you feel good. I want to make you feel happy. I want to show you how much I appreciate you. You know, I got this. And you see, he does got this, right? The Emperor. Emperor may be an Aries or a Scorpio. Or could be representative of somebody that's perhaps older than the Queen of Swords. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Queen of Pentacles. Older than the Queen of Swords. Or like a married man, or a divorcee, a widower, man with children, you know, that type of, he's lived a little already. And again, he's well aware that she can take care of herself. This Queen of Swords may specifically be an air sign, especially an Aquarius, or somebody with a lot of Aquarius in their chart, but can also, of course, be a Gemini, a Libra, or, you know, somebody that's not an air sign at all, that's just particularly independent, and, you know, maybe intellectual, or at least has like a good head on her shoulders, very logical, can think things through on her own, and doesn't need necessarily, you know, anybody's help. And just because we don't need doesn't mean we don't want, right? So she may still want, and that's why whatever shows up, you know, is going to be emotionally fulfilling, because it's going to fill a desire of hers, make her very, very happy with these two Aces of Cups side by side showing up. And behind this Ace of Cups is actually a Seven of Pentacles. So this could be something, again, that although she doesn't see it coming or expect it to show up right now, she's worked for already and has waited for patiently. And, you know, it just seemed to remain in the distance, you know, like to remain sort of far from her and not yet ready to be manifested. But little does she know, she's about to go from being a queen to the Empress. Empress, also Taurus, Libra, Gemini, especially. So again, some of the same energies repeating. We have the earth signs here, we have the air signs here. Here they are again, showing up with the Empress, as well as the Magician, who is also a Gemini or perhaps a Virgo, with the Magician representing the planet Mercury. The Three of Wands atop the Magician, representing that manifestation, and or again something or someone who's at a distance, not yet here. We got to be a little bit more patient before we finish successfully manifesting it, but soon we will. Again with this yellow too, and after I did the reading, there's a lot of red also. this week. It's yellow and red. Because we got the magician here. He's coming through with the red. She's got it in her dress, the yellow and the red. After I did it last week, the reading, it came to me, Oshun came to me. And I think for those for whom the yellow was particularly significant, it was about her. It was about Oshun. So maybe they are both initiated maybe into oh goodness, again I can't think, and the family practitioners of Yoruba, or could even be Santeria or something like that. Well, I guess they don't have to be initiated. Maybe they're practitioners. Maybe they just like Oshun. I don't know, but she came through. This Five of Wands in reverse is back also. So again, maybe some of us didn't have that conversation, maybe. That conversation that kept showing up last week that needs to be had, that is going to resolve our situation. Everything is actually fine, but we got to talk, right? We can't, if we keep acting like things are not fine and we're not talking, then, they're not going to be fine. And this conversation may be difficult to have, difficult to start, but we have to have it because it will end up resolving the situation, again, one way or another, with everything turning out for the best, for all involved. We have a Tower here. So maybe there's a major revelation. Again, maybe something is said in this conversation that is a breakthrough, that is life-changing, that changes the situation for us. Also, before I was doing the reading, I was shuffling the cards, and a card, I don't know if this person was black or not, this woman on the card, but when she fell out, she looked as if she was. Or, in that moment, the complexion was kind of brown. Anyway, whether she's black or not, the card fell out, and the sun fell out. And I said, oh, Val Demings may win. And this came out of nowhere. I don't even know. I haven't been watching that race in Florida. I don't live in Florida. I live in New York. So I don't even know what the polls are saying about Val Demings versus, I think she's running against Marco Rubio, if I'm not mistaken, for Senate. I don't know what the polls are saying about either one of them, if she even has a chance of winning. But that's when the sun fell out. And this other card, I think it was the Nine of Pentacles from this deck. It was like a black woman falling out on top of the sun. And it just, like instantly in that moment, I said, oh, Val Demings is going to win. And I don't really know, I haven't done any projections or predictions about this election. With the Trump versus Biden election, I was able to, because, it was showing up in my cards every week, but I was able to because I was aware that Biden's a Scorpio, that Kamala Harris is a Libra, that Trump was a Gemini or is a Gemini. And so with the King of Swords showing up upside down and the Queen of Swords showing up upright and the King of Cups showed up upright, I knew that was Biden and Kamala and that they were going to win. They were going to beat Trump. I mean, those of you who watched those readings for several weeks that I did, you saw it happen week after week. You know how I got there, right? How I arrived at that. But I don't know anybody's sign. I'm not following any particular races now. But I got on all of that when I saw the Tower, because at one point when I was shuffling too with the Tower, because it can represent for me at least an actual house or structure. So it can be your personal house, right? Something going on with your home, your household. But I thought about Congress, like the house falling down, burning down. And that doesn't have to be literal, although it was kind of literal almost this time last year, right? January 6th of last year. So maybe something will happen with that this week with insurrectionists or insurrection, maybe in connection with the election, or it's very typical for the House that is, the party that's running the House of the Congress at the time of the midterm elections, for them to lose and for the other party to win. So if that happened this time, that would be like Democrats coming out of the House, maybe their House falling, and Republicans moving in, to rebuild the Tower. They get the House. That could be. I'm not making any prediction, but it was literally as I was shuffling. So I do want to mention those things, and maybe I will be able to make a prediction. You guys want to give me a particular race to look at? Like I said, I don't know who's necessarily running against who. I haven't been following much of anything. In fact, I've been more like involved than following in my own races here in New York, you know, because I had friends that were running for different things. Some won, some lost their primary. So now I have like a friend that's expected to be our new assemblywoman. I have a friend that's expected to be our new congressman. You know, so stuff like that. So I haven't really been paying attention outside of that. Now we got this tower in reverse. So what does that mean? Wheel of Fortune in reverse. What does that mean? Death. This is interesting too. Just in general, 3 major arcana cards. I was just saying, like, what does that mean? Because I was just talking about the tower with regard to, of course, the United States of America. Although I realize not all of my viewers are from the United States of America, and some of you are probably like, what are you talking about and why? So again, behind this Ace of Cups, we do have the 7 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands. We looked at these, the Magician, and the Empress. Now opening to another 9 of Pentacles. I was just talking about the 9 of Pentacles in this deck because that's the card that showed up as Val Demings. Don't ask. Don't ask. I don't get it either. Lovers popped up in that deck when I was shuffling too. Here it is here. 10 of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. I wonder if there's a Gemini watching. Or again, maybe a Virgo watching who had maybe an earth sign that passed away in their life that they're getting an inheritance from that is delayed or has been delayed. They might be finally be showing up. Or it could be those cards together could also be about a relationship, maybe with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the 8 of Wands in reverse. It was communication that had been delayed and tied up. But you guys are still meant for some sort of long-term relationship with the 10 of Pentacles. Anyway, now the King of Swords, upright, introducing new energy, the King of Wands. Like all the kings showing up. A lot of characters this week already. We haven't even done anything yet. Three of Pentacles. So, 5 of Wands in reverse, Tower in reverse, 3 of Pentacles upright. We also have a big Powerball coming up. But that might be this week. That might be before next week's reading. I just thought about it because of this Wheel of Fortune in this tower. Like, it's a huge one. It's over $1 billion. And that could definitely bring, you know, like, death of any burdens anybody had. Any indecision anybody had. That could definitely bring, you know, a lump sum of money. Card most directly representing us this week. 5 of Pentacles. Damn, upright. I don't like that. Surrounding energy. Friends, co-workers, family members, mates, love interests, work and finance. King of Pentacles is back, this time in reverse. Love and relationship. Knight of Swords, also in reverse. Physical health. Ace of Pentacles, very nice. And spiritual health. Another 5 of Pentacles. Upright. So, you know what? This could definitely be about relationship. This, like, spiritual health could be about a spiritually based relationship, a divine union or a divine counterpart of some sort, whether it's a spiritually based business relationship or a romantic relationship or both. And I'm saying that because we have this Five of Pentacles upright in both of these placements. The one that's like most directly our focus, or our energy, and in our spiritual health. So just to be feeling lack in your spiritual health, and to be feeling maybe abandoned or left out in the cold in that area might mean being in separation, or something else going on with a spiritually based relationship. All this earth and all these pentacles also potentially coming from that Taurus full moon, right? And partial lunar eclipse. Hopefully what's being eclipsed is this energy of feeling broke or abandoned and alone, insecure. This and fear, fear-based, full of fear. This is fear of rejection, fear of commitment, sometimes fear of success even, fear of change. Speaking of change, and also all those towers we saw, I had also seen when I was shuffling, I forgot to mention it, like somebody moving out. That could be with the election also, like moving out of the house. Again, maybe the changing of the guard, so to speak, in the House of Representatives, maybe, or the Congress. Maybe, but on a smaller scale, it could be in your own house. You're moving out of the house, or somebody's moving out of the house from you. Something changing in your household dynamic. So with this, our romantic relationships may not be going well. We could be unemployed or underemployed and just be worried about our financial security with this Five of Pentacles. We could also just be feeling like life can just be feeling sort of up in the air. Maybe like we're juggling it and tossing it about in the air. Up in the air, not unstable, insecure. And that's the energy. So I'm going to say that the most important thing, I guess, to keep in mind this week is that, all of this stuff is temporary. Especially there's no major arcana cards here, so this is a very temporary energy, and don't hold on to it. So this is the surrounding energy. It can have to do with relationships, and that's another reason, like I said, that I thought that maybe this Five of Pentacles and this Five of Pentacles were also both about relationships. Twos is what's often about relationships. Two of Pentacles in particular, it's also often about balance. And again, you're juggling stuff, and you're not like allocating enough time necessarily to what needs it. So maybe to your relationship specifically. Maybe that's why somebody's feeling left out in the cold by you, or you're feeling left out in the cold by them, because you haven't allocated enough. You guys haven't, figured out enough time for yourselves as a couple, or as people who are trying to get to know each other, or whatever it is. In other areas of your life, you could have a decision to make, an earthly decision, a decision about an earthly matter, which again could be having to do with a relationship, or home, household, your work, or again lack thereof in terms of work. Somebody around you, and again, perhaps your love interest, or your mate, your spouse, your spiritual counterpart, may need to drop some of the things they're doing. They may need to pull themselves away from, and focus only on one or two things at the most. Some people are juggling more than one relationship. That's the problem. In which case they need to make a decision about what kind of relationship they want, and what relationship they want, and with whom. I also do see an infinity symbol in this, though, and so with somebody, if it's a relationship, I'd say that it's an eternal one, and you probably had several lifetimes together, and so this is just like a phase that you're going through. Again, everything is temporary, including life here, right on this plane. So there's been other ones, there's been other lifetimes, and it's funny, I was thinking about getting an infinity symbol tattoo, and I'm going this week to the tattoo parlor, and I was going to mention it to the artist. Not necessarily that I would get it this week, but that I had been thinking about getting one, because I'm going to get my existing tattoo touched up. So I'm just wondering if there's a message in here for me personally about going ahead and getting my tattoo done this week to my infinity symbol. And I guess no matter what, how this is showing up in your surrounding energy. So if it's about somebody that you're dealing with on a familiar basis, friendship, romantic, business, whatever it is, the idea is to not overextend yourself, right? Multitasking isn't your friend this week. Okay, so like if you feel like you've been overextending yourself, saying just being a yes person to every single body, you're not, it's not helping you to do that. You're not pleasing people. People are feeling neglected and left out anyway. So you might as well, take care of yourself and narrow it down to, again, one or two things that you are able to manage, in a healthy way. And it may have to do with this King of Pentacles in reverse, whether it's the romantic situation or not. Especially since we started out with the King of Pentacles, he was dealing with an air sign, very possibly. A Queen of Swords that I said he wanted to take care of. The King of Pentacles in reverse, and in its most general meaning, can be about like a person that sort of measures their worth on like earthly stuff, like based on their accomplishments, their success, what other people have to say about them, what other people think about them, how much stuff they have. And so that could be why somebody's feeling this way. If you don't feel like you have enough stuff, if you don't feel like you've been successful enough, if you don't feel like you have enough to offer, especially if you have somebody you want to impress in terms of a relationship, a spiritually based relationship, this person to you is representative of the Empress, right? And so you want to put your best foot forward, and you're not feeling as successful as you, or maybe your society, your outside people have deemed you should be. You should have more stuff, more, right? It's all about stuff and money and whatnot. Again, earthly matters that are being juggled or that are overwhelming right now, or that we're trying to multitask. And so that could be a potential reason of why the King of Pentacles here is in reverse. But since this is specifically the placement of work and finance, specific to work, he shows up to say that all you can do is like your best. All you can do is put your best foot forward. And again, if you're trying to overdo, then you may not be able to put your best foot forward because you're giving a little in all these places instead of the most you can in one or two places, which is going to benefit you better in terms of work. King of Pentacles in reverse says, there's more to life than work. So when it comes to your work, all you can do is your best. You do your best work possible and go home. And don't take it with you. Like, don't take your work or the business home with you. Have some time for yourself, your social life, your relationships, your children, your family, whatever it is. Whatever you need to nurture outside of just the earthly and the office. In terms of finances that may or may not be tied to your work, it's about thinking long term, right? Thinking long range. Maybe this week, again, like I said, this is very temporary. Maybe this week things aren't the best. Maybe this week you just feel overwhelmed. You got too much on your plate. You don't feel like you're doing your best work, or you didn't get enough hours and your check is smaller than usual, or you got a lot of bills. It's the first of the month today when I'm doing this reading, so it's the beginning of the week and all these bills came in, and you just feel like you're sort of out of balance, insecure, unstable, lacking money. What are you going to do? The idea is to think long term. So maybe you need to remind yourself, but wait a minute. I got a job or I own my own business or whatever. It's like there's opportunities ahead to do better next time, and to do better in the long run, to make a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, retirement plan, whatever it is, and not just focus and live or die by whatever's going on this week. In other words, don't define yourself by like short-term losses or downturns or what you deem as failures, and don't like discount your small wins either. A win is a win, your small successes. this is only a look at 1 week in your life. Now, similarly, the Knight of Swords, as we move on to love and relationship, the Knight of Swords in reverse is also somebody who, if he's single and looking for love especially, needs to consider looking beyond the surface. So again, beyond the earthly stuff, beyond, the flashy clothes and jewelry and the nice car and the nice house and the fancy, job and digs and whatnot. Below the surface, more into the person, more into character, more into, integrity, more into, is this person genuine? This person genuinely interested in me? They genuinely care about me? They genuinely love me? Or, they're just the person that would look good on my arm. Or they're just the person that feeds my ego and tells me how, gorgeous I am. Or are they just the person who's around because I have a wad of cash, and when I don't have that anymore, they're going to be gone. Below the surface, which is easier said than done, perhaps. Maybe for an earth sign in particular, and possibly even, for some of the air signs. I can speak for Geminis. I can speak for Aquarius too, because I probably have more Aquarius in my chart than I even do Gemini. As funny as it sounds, because I'm a Gemini sun. But particularly for Gemini, we are like below the surface kind of people. It's weird because we can give off an air sometimes of superficiality or of lack of depth, and that's just because people don't understand how our minds work and the stuff that we're thinking about, and sometimes even how we talk. Like they don't understand. Like we're speaking a different language. But we really can look beyond. But I think the earth sign image, or the earth sign perception at least, is that, maybe we are surface level people that lack depth. And I think similarly, Aquarians are misunderstood, and that's why they've adapted. They can spend so much time alone, and they can be forever single and stuff. I think they're the most single sign of all 12 of the zodiac, because they just learn how to be by themselves because people don't get them. So this is, maybe it's toward an earth sign. Maybe somebody else, rather than us needing to be the ones who are looking behind the surface, maybe somebody needs to look at an earth sign. Look at an air sign, in a different way, and give an air sign some more, consideration and benefit of the doubt, that maybe there is more to them than what or what you've seen, and take a deeper look at that person. Maybe it's an earth sign that needs to take a deeper look at an air sign, especially for some of us. For those in an existing relationship, the Knight of Swords can mean that something's bothering your partner, and you may want to ask them, and maybe what's bothering them is that they're overwhelmed. They're juggling too many things, and maybe you'll be able to help them take something off their plate so that they can get over this sort of feeling of being alone. Maybe they feel like they do it all. They're the provider, and they don't have anybody to ever provide for them when they need. So maybe you can be that person if that's the case. Going back to the singles for a minute, though, I'm just drawn to somebody may try to really impress you to the point that they could come across as like a jerk, like a loser. You know what I mean? When somebody's trying real hard to impress you, like, oh God, this guy's a real nerd, a real loser, right? Or I suppose I'm saying guy, because for me it would be guy, but I suppose it could happen with women as well. And again, we're talking about archetypes anyway, so masculine and feminine. But just because the person's making an ass of themselves doesn't mean they really are an ass. Again, we've got to try to go beyond that surface level stuff and give people, maybe a chance to win us over. Physical health with the Ace of Pentacles, this is a great time. Maybe try something new, start something new, some kind of new practice. It is the Ace of Pentacles. So it's this earth. It is coming to us, I think, gifted to us by this Taurus moon. Out with the old, in with the new practices that are going to benefit our health. Maybe we're getting ready, from some of us, for our wedding too. We want to lose weight or gain weight or whatever, change ourselves in some way, in time for our wedding, to go through that arch is something I just got. What else? I guess that's it. Let me move on to the back to the Five of Pentacles, since we have two Five of Pentacles upright here. As I mentioned before, the Five of Pentacles in the position of spirituality really says to us that nothing lasts forever. All right, particularly if you're having a difficult time. You know, this is the card wants to remind us of this and let us in this placement and let us know this is temporary. Also, we need to stay mindful, you know, of the reality that we're all like connected. So allowing someone else to help you is a blessing to them as much as it is to you. So getting back to what I was just saying about this King of Pentacles, who's used to being the blessing to people, used to being the one who takes care of everybody. You allow someone to take care of you, to help you, whether that's financially, whether that's just by letting them love you, letting them show you love and attention, hearing you out, going below the surface with you, getting deep with you, right? Listening to your innermost, whatever, confessions, vulnerabilities, whatever it is you want to share. And that takes a load off of you. Wow, what a blessing to you both, right? So that's what I'm getting from that card for the spirituality. So that's really going to be all I have for us this week. Let me get a couple love messages. I love you dearly and deeply. I hope Sunday I will have the courage to say this to you directly. I was just saying, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and letting somebody else, you know, hear you out, giving them the opportunity to hear you out, or vice versa. So maybe this week is that time. This one's sideways. I don't want to read this one. And this one's upside down. I want to know the right side up one. There we go. This time apart has given me an opportunity to pause and reflect on the mistakes I've made. So again, maybe somebody was ghosted. Maybe somebody's in separation. You know, somebody's feeling abandoned, rejected. Maybe there was a choice to make, and somebody in your surrounding energy chose someone else over you, or you did it to them. You chose someone else over somebody in your surrounding energy. And so that's why they're feeling that they've been apart from you. Maybe whoever made the decision that they feel wrong about is who is saying this. Time apart has given me an opportunity to pause and to reflect on the mistakes I've made. But I guess that could go both ways, no matter what, in whatever situation. And last we have, this one's already turned upright, so I'm going to pull another one, but I think I'm supposed to read this for somebody too. We have too many problems in this relationship, and the roller coaster ride is making me ill. Maybe we should call it quits for now, because that, I think, is going to be for somebody too. But again, that's not the collective message I want to do. I want to look for another one that's face down, where it says secret messages, but also right side up. These are sideways. This one's upside down. Here we go. I dream about you a lot, and it always arouses me. Okay. That's what we got. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I will be back with the moon reading. Yeah. Have a good week. Namaste. Hope you find this helpful and that you enjoy it. Namaste.